In this edition of Today in African History, we celebrate Pan-African women's organizing, reflect on the political struggle for liberation, and savor the cultural pride and joy of independence. Happy African Women's Day! Today in African History is proudly brought to you by a media company. Our channel is your daily showcase of inspiring stories from across the continent and its people. Please take 2 minutes to subscribe and join our growing community of Africans and friends of Africa. You can also support us through the link in the description. Our first story is on African Women's Day, since the first Pan-African Women's Conference in Dar es Salaam in 1962, which aimed to address the political and socio-economic challenges faced by women across the continent. African women have continued to make significant strides towards gender equality and women's empowerment. In recognition of their achievements, the African Union declared July 31st as African Women's Day. The day honors the unwavering commitment and immense contributions of women to the political, economic, social, and cultural spheres of their countries and the continent at large. It's a day to celebrate their pivotal role in nation-building and sustainable development, as well as their active participation in the attainment of Africa's freedom and independence. It is also a day to reflect on the challenges that African women continue to face and to renew calls for gender equality and women as empowerment. Our second story is about the 1974 Rhodesian general election held on July 30th in what is today Zimbabwe. This election had significant implications for the country's future and set in motion a series of events that ultimately led to Zimbabwe's independence. The election was marked by a low voter turnout and allegations of intimidation and violence against Black African voters. The results of the election were a victory for the Rhodesian Front, a white minority party that had been advocating for the preservation of white minority rule in Rhodesia. However, the election was widely seen as a sham, and the international community refused to recognize its legitimacy. In the aftermath of the election, protests and unrest continued to grow in Rhodesia. By 1979, the country was in a state of civil war, and it was until 1980 that Zimbabwe finally gained its independence. Our third and final story is about the 2016 Liberian Independence fashion show. From July 26th to July 31st, Liberia celebrated its 169th independence anniversary with a series of events in Monrovia. The events included a torch run, a parade, and a musical concert. But the highlight of the celebrations was the fashion show held on July 31st at the Antoinette Tubman Stadium. The fashion show showcased traditional Liberian garments and accessories and was a celebration of Liberian culture and heritage. Thousands of people attended the event, which was part of the government's efforts to promote made in Liberia products. And that's all for this episode of Today in African History. Join us tomorrow as we continue to explore the richness and complexity of our past. Until then, stay curious, stay engaged, and stay tuned. And remember, Africa is watching.